Okay. Welcome guys. I wanted this to be my first video I wanted to do as far as like a reaction. It it really struck a chord with me. And for some of y'all who or have already seen this, have seen Asmongold's take on his video, like it's for him, it's about him kind of, but I think it really speaks volume to a lot of people going through a very similar situation and a situation I have been caught in a number of times. And so I've already watched this video all the way through, and I mean it it touched me in a way that I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to be able to at least put this in front of, even if it's in front of another one other person that may have not seen it, that this could help out. It's worth it to me, and so that's why I want to go over this. Kind of throw in my take and some similar experiences I've had with this, because I mean this guy's story is so inspirational, and I mean I hope it motivates more people. So let's just go ahead and get into it.
Sometimes we find inspiration in the most unexpected places. For me, it was through the videos of a YouTuber and Twitch streamer named Asmongold.
You guys ever heard of this
His
guy?
raw honesty and unfiltered commentary
If
were
you haven't, you
the
should.
catalyst for a transformation I never thought possible. This is a story of how his words resonated with me during one of the darkest periods of my life and inspired me to reclaim control. This is about a man who struggled with mental illness, familial separation, and
Hmm.
years of self loathing.
Yeah. See, this is what I mean. Like he's telling everyone how Asmongold really inspired him, but the story is really about him. I mean, you can say you can like project all of your good things you've done and the changes you've made in your life onto one single person, but that's not true because anyone could listen to anybody out there. I mean, I've watched lots of Asmongold videos. I've watched lots of other people like back when I was younger, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, PewDiePie, and all of them. Very familiar people that a lot of people have also watched. And I mean, some for some people it strikes a different chord. It hits them different, you know, and it it goes to show that like the person you are, the amount of work that you will put into your own life, that's all you. Okay, someone could help give you that push, but it really comes from inside.
This is about how I found hope, strength, and purpose in Asmongold's message and took actionable steps to change my life. Chapter 1: A Broken Family and a Broken Spirit. 11 years without my mom. My story begins with a family torn apart. When I was a teenager, my stepfather's failing business in the Philippines forced my mom to make a heartbreaking decision to work abroad and support us.
That's
She
really good for
found
her.
a job as a carer and later as a healthcare assistant for the NHS in the
Really good for her.
UK.
That's a
For
good mom.
11 years, we were separated. I grew up without her hugs, her guidance, and her comforting presence.
And and when I say that, I mean that decision too. And that was a hard decision for her. Because I from what I gathered from this video that like I already watched this, she very much seems like a person who did this for her family, right? I mean, it's hard. I mean, when you have to sit here and choose for do you want a better life for your family, sometimes that doesn't always come with the best circumstances for the kids too. And it can be it can be what it is sometimes. Um, but I think towards the end, it did end up making you know him a lot stronger for it, and you'll see what I mean as we keep
Her
going.
absence left a void in my life, but I knew she was sacrificing everything to provide for me. She endured sleepless nights, working long shifts, sometimes without rest for days, just to pay for my education. She
Yeah, see,
carried the
she
weight
did it
of
to pay
two
for his
worlds on
education.
her shoulders: a family across oceans and a grueling job in a foreign land,
Hmm.
battling mental illness. In 2016, at the age of 21, my life took a devastating turn. I experienced my first manic episode, followed by two more over the next 2 years. I was
And I don't know if anyone knows this. I mean, I I do dispatching for 911, so we've we've had a lot of people that have gone through manic episodes, people who either been called in from someone else that is watching them experience it, or even the people themselves actually like having that themselves happen to them and they're calling in. And I mean, it can hit you like out of nowhere and it's no fault of your own. I mean, some things just in your brain they just don't click and or they click in the wrong way. I don't know if that's the best way to kind of describe it. I'm not a doctor, obviously, but just from my experience of listening to people, I mean, they're struggling and it's hard for them, you know. And I'm sure for him in this circumstance, it was a lot of things that added up, you know, just not having his mom there, not having that kind of support. You know, it was probably one thing that led to another, as well as his home life. You know, after everything was going on, I mean, all that stress it adds up. It does, and I mean, it affects everybody. And for anyone who says it doesn't, I mean, you can act all strong all you want, but everyone knows better.
diagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder with psychotic features, a condition that would shape the next several years of my life. The illness robbed me of stability, relationships, and a sense of worth. 2016 to 2021, I lived alone in a small apartment, consumed by depression and hopelessness. Every day was a battle to finish my studies while grappling with the belief that I would die alone. Chapter 2: The Long
And
Road
I'm
to
sure he's not the only one
Reunification.
who's felt that.
Fighting for a new beginning. Despite the darkness, I held on to one dream: reuniting with my mom. I researched ways to leave the Philippines and discovered the adult dependent visa route to the UK. It was our ticket to being together again. But the journey was anything but smooth.
Mm.
We faced three visa rejections.
Now, imagine that. You know, this is all in the UK, but I mean, this happens a lot of places too. This dude, he really just wanted to go see his mom, you know, but he still got rejected three separate times. Three separate times. All he wanted to do is be able to visit and see his mom. I mean, what has to have gone wrong? You know, it could be a number of things. It could be like the people in charge of doing that are just lazy. They don't want to push paperwork. They don't want to have to worry about it. But, you know, when you're working in that kind of position, like you have to take some sort of personal responsibility because these are people's lives that you mess with. I mean, this could have gone a whole different way. And I mean, some people may not care, right? But I mean, this dude, if push came to shove and if it didn't end up working out for him and he never got to see his mom and one day he just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Well, you're not going to feel that personal weight or responsibility. I mean, that's what's what I mean. Like that's what kind of power that position holds. And you have to take some sort of accountability and at least give a little bit more of a shit about what you do because this is the kind of these are the kind of people that it affects. You know, there are other people obviously that kind of try to go into countries with negative reasons behind it, and they even make it in. Some of them legally, some of them not. But that's besides the point. This guy should have. There should have been no reason why this guy should have been rejected three separate times for that.
Tourist, student, and even the adult dependent visa itself. Each rejection felt like a dagger to the
Hmm.
heart, but
I
we
bet it did.
refused to give up. Finally, in 2021, after a long, arduous appeal process, we won,
That's
reunited but
good.
not whole. When I arrived in the UK, my mom was overjoyed, but her joy turned to concern when she saw me. I
Hmm.
was unkempt, overweight, and a shadow of the person she remembered. Despite being together again, my depression lingered. I even
You know that's also a thing. You'd be surprised who actually pays attention, who can actually see that, right? I mean, this affected him for so long. I mean, probably as soon as he met up with his mom and she saw him, I mean, she could see right through that. You know, it's it's really upsetting. And I think this is where we start really getting into like the message that really like cut in, because this was really good for him being able to see his mom and everything, but that there's still that part of you that you've been pushing down into the metaphorical bottle, all of those emotions, and it will eventually kind of start pouring out a little bit more, making it more obvious that, hey, I have a problem. You know, I mean that it happened to me not too long ago. I mean, I've had the last couple of years it's been rough. I've had a lot of like family things going on, and I'm not going to get into it because I want to make this really more mainly about his message. But I mean, a lot of people can relate to this. I think I think the biggest point I'm trying to prove with this is that you really should reach out to people. It's okay to be weak. It's something that not a lot of us can learn, especially guys. I mean, as that relates to me, being a guy, having not having that person or emotional support that you might need to be able to talk things out, work through whatever problems you're having. Besides just having the guys there saying, "Man, you'll be fine. Just walk it off. You'll be good." We do need to talk things out, okay? Because obviously the mental health epidemic we're having with guys is proof enough that it's not working. That alone is not working. We need to be taking care of our guys just as well as we need to be taking care of our girls. Okay.
Confessed to her that if she were to die, I'd have no reason to live. Chapter 3: The Turning Point. A Toxic Environment. Living with my mom's toxic husband made our home life unbearable. For nearly 3 years, his hostility and constant complaints created a tense and stressful environment.
Mm-hmm.
Despite my attempts to show love and gratitude, even thanking him for taking care of my mom, he remained antagonistic. One day, we even shouted at each other, a culmination of years of suppressed frustration. By December 2024, my mom and I had had enough. We moved out to start fresh, free from the toxicity that had plagued our
That
lives.
that could
But
be
the
a hard
real
decision to make.
transformation began months earlier, in March 2024, when I stumbled upon two videos by Asmongold. The first video, they
There we
said
go.
lose weight, he said okay.
They said lose weight. He says okay. Like, he doesn't go on Twitter and like somebody tells him to lose weight. He talks about, like, writes this thing out like, oh, I'm being fucking fat shamed. Like, I can't believe this is happening. Society's out to get me. Like, everything's trying to ruin my life, bro. Like, hoflation is making it to where I can't get a girlfriend.
In March 2024,
See that this is why I love Asmongold, right? He is very to the point. He does not care if this is really gonna hurt your feelings, because some of these things, everyone needs a person in their life that can tell them, hey, you need to get your shit together. You need to have some, personal responsibility over your life. I mean, you can sit here, like I said at the beginning, and blame everything on, oh, it's this person's fault, or it's this person's fault, or, there are all these other things but we are responsible for our own actions. And I mean, this guy took charge of it, and he took that message to heart.
I watched a video titled They Said Lose Weight, He Said Okay. It featured Asmongold discussing someone's weight loss journey with his signature blend of humor and brutal honesty. His
Mm-hmm.
words struck a chord, planting a seed of inspiration in my mind. Yet the thought of changing my own life felt insurmountable. I had dreams of a healthy body, but no action plan to achieve it. The video lingered in my mind, a spark waiting to ignite. The
Mm-hmm.
second video, Asmongold's powerful message to viewers who envy his life. Then came the video that changed everything. Asmongold's powerful message to viewers who envy his life.
All right,
In
let's see
this
this.
video, Asmongold delivered a powerful message.
I was
I
surprised
think
about
that
this too.
ultimately you have to look and think about what the time that you invest yourself in gets that you get out of it. False? Are you crazy?
He doesn't give a shit.
You guys
If
act
people
like you
disagree,
have no control
he'll say
over
something.
your life. Like, the cards are just already set for you. Like, you just, like, you can only do this little small thing in your life, and you have no control over your own destiny. Take control.
That resonated with me a lot because when I watched this live stream live when I was watching this before, And boy, oh boy, I've been wanting to do things like this. For instance, I've been working 9 to 5 jobs. When I was younger, I really thought, because I'd done MMA my whole life. I mean, starting in school, I was bullied, physically and mentally. Mainly the physical part was my problem. And I was super quiet. I was always the youngest kid, so I mean, I was the easy target. And so I'd come home, bruises covered in me, and eventually my mom, got tired of seeing that. I mean, not that she was like pissed off at seeing me like that, but she knew that the school system wasn't going to help. And so what did she do? One thing she thought of was put this kid in some sort of martial art. Put this kid in some sort of thing that's going to teach him self defense. And that was, I believe that was her goal, but I think that she didn't realize how much that changed my life and how much good that actually did for me, because really it was amazing. It brought me a lot of confidence in my life that I needed at that moment. And I wouldn't have got it, I don't think, anywhere else, because something that taught me was that whenever you can finally take care of yourself without worrying about, what's going to happen to you, you don't necessarily have to use the violence, but knowing that you can, it puts that kind of, that little like seed in the other person's brain, like, hey, maybe this isn't going to be worth it in the end. And then eventually it took a point one day specifically where I'll just put this little part out and I'll move on, right? Where I was on the bus, and every day I got on the bus, this kid who's like 4 years, no, not 4 years, he was 2 years older than me, right? Much bigger than me. Dude would always make sure he sat on the bus right next to me because he got on the stop like 2 stops after me. And the entire time on the bus, he'd sit there, punch me in the arm, punch me in the arm, every single day, going into school and leaving school. It was just a common occurrence. And it wasn't till I got, actually physically stronger from, working out and doing all that stuff. And then to not only tell him that I'm not going to fucking stand for that anymore, but to then sit here and go, all right, you want to do it for me? I will throw one back. He would throw one. And for the entire bus ride, me and this dude threw punches back at each other's arms. The crazy part is the bus driver didn't do shit. But I mean, look, bus driver who is how responsible he's going to feel about it, I don't know. The school honestly didn't even take initiative to help out either. And those buses had cameras, so you can't say they didn't fucking know about it, right? They just didn't care to look if that was the case. But after that, he didn't feel like he wanted to do it anymore because he had something, he had consequences that came with it. He also got bruises as well as I did. And so it was little things like that. Like I took control of my life. It was something that I had to do for myself because no one else is going to do it for me.
Take things into your own hands. Stop waiting on somebody else to give you something. Stop waiting on somebody else to allow you to be yourself.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm trying to do with this too.
Take it for yourself. Do something that you need to do.
That's what I'm doing with my channel.
You act like you have no control over your destiny. Take control. Those words hit me like a lightning bolt. Mm-hmm. For years, I had resigned myself to being a victim of my circumstances. I blamed my diagnosis, my past, and external forces for my misery. But Asmongold's message forced me to confront the harsh truth. I was the only one who could change my life. Chapter 4.
And that's hard for some
The
people to
Plan
come
for
to terms with.
Transformation. Discovering the right tools. Determined to take control, I began researching how to improve my physical and mental health. I discovered Dr. Jason Fung's work on intermittent fasting, Dr. Eric Berg's teachings on the keto diet, and
I tell you what, I've been having to start with the intermittent fasting too, because I need to lose a lot of weight. I mean, right now I'm in the military, and so it's more of a requirement. But when I get out of that, I mean, who's gonna hold me responsible for that? And so just like trying different things, carnivore diet, like he's gonna mention in a second, as well as this intermittent fasting. It really it takes its toll. It's hard to get started, but once you do, it's well worth all that hard work.
Dr. Ken Berry's advocacy for the carnivore diet. I also delved into Dr. Christopher Palmer's insights on metabolic psychiatry, which explained how nutrition could impact mental health.
It does. It really does.
I
I've even
adopted a
felt a huge
carnivore
difference
diet
recently
and
with it.
combined it with intermittent fasting. Within days, my depression and dark thoughts lifted. It felt like magic, but it was the science of ketosis, fueling my brain with ketones instead of glucose, that made the difference. Over the next 6 months, I lost 70 pounds.
Man,
More
that's good for you.
importantly, I reclaimed my sense of
That's
agency
really good
and
for you.
self worth. Dr. Rachel Brown and the Path to Hyperbolic Tapering. Dr. Rachel Brown, a metabolic psychiatrist, has been instrumental in guiding me toward a safe and evidence based approach to tapering off antipsychotic medication. Her expertise in metabolic psychiatry, a field that connects mental health and metabolic health, helped me not only better understand the long term impact of medications, but also find a sustainable path forward. For
And I think for medications, this is like one thing for me, and this is only my opinion on it, right? It I try not to do a lot of stuff with medication just because, at least for me, I don't want to have to be relied on it. I know for some people, it is an absolute requirement that they have certain things that help them become functional human beings. And at that point, I very much support the fact that they may need to have that in their life. Now, do I wish we had, you know, a medical system that helped make that a more affordable for people who actually really needed it? Absolutely, because I feel like people profiting off other people's problems is fucking ridiculous, and I hate that. I think that's one thing that grinds my gears the most is when people do that, and it's very obvious when they are.
the past 8 years, I was on paliperidone palmitate, a long acting injectable antipsychotic. This form of medication, while convenient for many, left me feeling I had little control over my own treatment.
Mm-hmm.
The fixed doses and long lasting effects made adjustments challenging and at times frustrating.
Yeah.
But with Dr. Brown's guidance, I recently transitioned to an oral liquid form of risperidone, which I take using a syringe orally for precise dose adjustments. This switch has been transformative, giving me the tools to take charge of my tapering process.
Nope.
Dr.
And
Brown introduced me to the
I'm glad he
concept
found
of
something that
hyperbolic
worked
tapering,
because
an
most people
approach
don't.
rooted in pharmacological science. Unlike abrupt cessation or linear tapering, hyperbolic tapering involves gradual reductions that become progressively smaller over time. This method minimizes the risk of withdrawal symptoms, such as rebound psychosis, a serious condition where symptoms return with greater intensity after stopping the medication too quickly. Planning is crucial in a process like this, and with Dr. Brown's help, I have set a timeline to begin tapering in May 2025.
Nice.
The journey is expected to take approximately 2 years.
And I think that's something people also got to take in consideration. Changes like this don't happen overnight. You know, losing weight, fixing things that may have been wrong within your brain, how things, wired or how you function. This medication is not going to change you overnight. Working out and going to the gym, it's not going to something that's going to happen to you in a couple days. And I think where people get discouraged and where their motivation drops is they have that expectation that, oh, in a week I'm going to start seeing some results. I'm gonna start seeing a couple pounds lost. And initially you do. In the sense of like losing weight, for instance, you can go to the gym every day for a week. You can start, eating healthier. You're gonna see some immediate results in that number on the scale. But that number on the scale doesn't mean shit. I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. To anyone listening to this, don't look at that scale, okay? Because you're gonna start losing a little bit of weight, and most of that might just end up being water weight that you've been holding on to. And then after that, when you see, very little progress, to even that number even going up sometimes, and you're confused, why is it doing this? Why is it, let your body adjust to the changes, okay? We are very complex machines, organic machines. And there's a lot of stuff going in on the inside that a lot of people really can't explain or put into words because every person is a little different in that sense, right? Like some people's metabolisms are faster, some aren't. You know, the way people digest food and the way people, it's all very complicated and very based on the individual. But the one thing that isn't going to be super based on the individual is the fact that it is going to take time. No matter who you are, go to the gym. Stay on that diet. Okay? Stick to it, months. Keep it day by day, meal by meal until you get month to month. And then after a couple years, that's when you're really going to start seeing that progress. And then you're going to look back at yourself when you started and say to yourself, wow, that was worth it. I'm glad that I took the time to do this.
While this might seem lengthy, the gradual pace is essential to allow my brain and body to adapt to each reduction.
Mm-hmm.
Rushing the process could lead to destabilizing withdrawal effects,
Yeah, or
undoing the
stopping
progress
altogether.
I've worked so hard to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Brown's approach goes beyond just the mechanics of tapering. She has encouraged me to support my mental health through lifestyle interventions such as
Mm-hmm.
ketogenic carnivore diet and intermittent fasting, which align with her metabolic psychiatry philosophy. These strategies have helped me build resilience and maintain stability, making me feel confident about my ability to taper successfully.
And just based off the
Chapter
photos,
5,
man, you were doing
Lessons
really
Learned.
good. You look
The
really
importance
good.
of personal agency. Asmongold taught me that personal agency is vital.
Mm-hmm.
Without it, individuals become passive victims of their circumstances.
Yeah, it's like the talk of everyone saying the difference between motivation and discipline, right? You could have an initial motivation like, oh, New Year's. I'm my New Year's resolution. I'm gonna go work out. I'm gonna go do this, right? That may not be enough for you. That motivation is gonna be short term, and it's gonna be a little bit. And if that's the only thing that's motivating you, the only thing that's gonna keep you doing it, I'm sorry, you're gonna fail. You gotta have the discipline, right? And that was something I didn't even learn until I got out of basic training. I didn't have a whole lot of discipline for my own health and standards for myself really until I had got put in a situation where it was really up to me and no one else if I failed or succeeded. Because in that kind of circumstance, that was something that I would say if everybody could at least have to go through that initial basic training portion, just to help with that mental and physical discipline. I feel like that would do a lot for a lot of people. I really do. It's rough. I mean, it's gonna be rough. You're gonna be being told things that you're not gonna like to hear, and you're gonna have to do things that you don't want to do. But in the end, it's to help you out, and I really do. I really do believe that. So the more that you can work on, having a consistent schedule, and being consistent in your daily life with everything that you do, that's what's going to build that discipline, and that's going to take you a lot further.
Reclaiming agency means taking responsibility for your actions and decisions.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy, but
No.
it's the only path to true freedom. Health as the foundation. Health is the cornerstone of a fulfilling life. By prioritizing my physical and mental well being, I gained the energy, clarity, and confidence to pursue my goals. Cutting out carbs, sugar, and excuses was
Yep.
the first step in building a better
I just wish our
life.
healthcare system was better to help out with
breeds
that too.
freedom. Discipline is not a limitation, it's a pathway to freedom. By sticking to my diet and exercise routine, I broke free from the cycle of self sabotage. Each small victory reinforced my belief in my ability to succeed. Chapter 6, Paying It Forward. Sharing my journey.
And this is where I feel as though this is what motivated me to want to do this, right? Paying it forward was me wanting to use this to push it to even just one more person. Because this guy's journey can be a huge motivation for a lot of people out there that just needed to hear, hey, get off your fucking ass. Don't wait for Monday to start. Just do it now. Okay? Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. As funny as I want to make that be as in a serious note, really there's nothing is holding you back beside yourself. And there's no reason to put it off any longer. If you want to be a pilot, get started. Even if it's, 1% progress every day. Every day that's going to add up. And that's going to still be something better than you saying, no, I'm just going to wait till later when I can do better on this. When I have a little bit more extra time, I can do this. I'll wait, you know. Or I wanna start doing YouTube videos. I wanna start streaming, but I don't feel like I have the confidence to do anything, and I don't know how to edit videos, and I don't know how to or what I really want to do. Just do something. Put something out there. Each video I've done, I have learned something and I have taken away from it, and how I should edit or how I should go about using all of my stuff that I'm learning on the fly, but I'm at least starting and doing something. And the progress is now led it to now where I've hit my first big milestone for myself, hitting 100 subscribers. And I am very thankful for everyone that's gotten me there, and all the people who have been supportive, and people who have been, tuning in, commenting whenever, everything like that. Thank you all, and thank everyone that who has been here for me. And
This
I
video
and
is
I hope
my
this
way
helps
of
someone.
extending Asmongold's message to others who may feel lost. If you're struggling, know that change is possible.
Hmm.
You have the power to take control of your life,
You do.
resources to help you take control of your life. If you're ready to start transforming your life, here are some ways I can guide you on your journey. Substack newsletter, Win Your Life Back. This is your daily roadmap to success. I share strategies that help me lose 70 pounds and improve my mental health. From meal plans and fasting schedules to mindset exercises and progress trackers, this
Hmm.
newsletter is designed to help you lose up to 100 pounds in a year, boost your energy, and reclaim.
You could go check it out. I recommend anyone who wants to at least give it a try, go for it. Go check out all the stuff he has to share, and for sure go and check out his channel. Give this guy support. This dude deserves it. He's the kind of person who didn't just lay back and let life just roll over him. He didn't just say, I'm too fat. I'm not going to go to the gym. This is just going to be my life. I'm just going to have people feel bad for me that, I can't do this. I can't do that. No, he said, fuck it. I'm going to take control of my life. I'm going to do better for myself and my family. And he did it. And it takes a strong person to do that. And this person definitely deserves, with all the work and all the time he's put into all of this, go share the love. Go give a like on his video, subscribe to his channel, tell him, if this hits you in any sort of way like it did for me, and probably many other people out there.
Control of your life. Medium blog, insights and inspiration. On Medium, I write about personal stories and lessons I've learned from my own journey. Topics include mental health, nutrition, and technology, all aimed at providing you with actionable advice and fresh perspectives. YouTube channel, exploring life and growth. On my YouTube channel, I cover a range of topics from mental health and diet to movies and personal development. Through
So if
video
any of this sounds
essays and
interesting to you,
discussions, I share my
like I
experiences and
said, go check
insights
him out.
to inspire and inform others. Each resource is tailored to a different aspect.
It takes very little time to do it, but it means a whole lot to the people who are putting this effort in, who are trying, and they will feel that effort and that love back. So, like I said, I definitely agree. I definitely think you should.
Of growth, giving you the tools, knowledge, and motivation to take charge of your life. Whatever stage you're at, there's something here for you. Links down below. Thank you, Asmongold. Asmongold, you'll probably never know the full impact you've had on my life, but I owe you my deepest gratitude. Your unfiltered honesty, raw vulnerability, and relentless pursuit of truth gave me the push I desperately needed.
You know, and while Asmongold may have not been that person for me, I think I've had several people in my life that have been that for me. You know, my mom, for instance, she has been a huge proponent on being brutally honest to me. I remember one day. And this is when I was really young, right? I was playing frisbee in the front yard with my dad, and I'd fallen over a bike, and I was just sitting there bawling my eyes out. My mom just comes out and she's like, "What's going on?" Like, she's all worried and shit. She comes over to check me out. She's like, "Are you bleeding? Anything there?" And there's nothing. I just fell. It was really the fear that scared me, right? But I'm just sitting here bawling, making a huge scene. She's just like, "Man, figure your shit out. This is ridiculous. Come inside, stop whining. There's just no reason for this. Okay. Well, that wasn't the thing that did it for me. I remember it. I remember that. And I think everyone needs someone in their life that can be that point of honesty and can tell them things that they need to hear, whether they like to hear it or not. I have people like that at work for me. It's nice. Some people might not like it. I love it. Okay. And I try to be that person for a lot of people too. And if you are that kind of person, don't change.
When I was at my lowest, your words cut through the noise, reminding me that life doesn't have to spiral endlessly out of control. Your message that we all have the power to change isn't just a catchy mantra, it's a lifeline. It's a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there's a spark within us waiting to be ignited. For me, that spark turned into a flame that burned away years of self doubt, unhealthy habits, and inertia. You taught me that taking control isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about showing up, making one small decision at a time, and choosing to
One
believe in the
step, baby
possibility
steps.
of something better. And because of you, I did. I'm not just lighter physically, I'm lighter emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I've reclaimed my health, rediscovered my confidence, and I'm building a life that once felt out of reach. And it all started with a choice. A choice I made because your message reminded me that it was mine to make. Thank you, Asmongold, for being more than just a streamer. Thank you for being a voice of reason, a source of inspiration, and a testament to the power of owning your journey. You didn't just change my life, you saved it. This has been Billy Poon. Subscribe to be healthy. Stakes on me.
Love that. I love that. Really, for real though. I mean, like if you Billy, if you're watching this, I don't know if you ever will, but I'm very I'm very proud of everything that all the hard work you've done. It's obviously showing in the way you look, the way you sound, and I think that whatever it was, whether it was just solely Asmongold or everything else that led up in your life to get you to finally taking control of your life and you know putting your destiny in your own hands. I'm proud of you for taking that first step, and I hope that your message touches a lot of people like it touched me. Okay, and I didn't even know, like, eventually I wanted to make reaction stuff and do this kind of thing, and I'm not gonna say this one because it's like my first time doing this. It's gonna be my best work, but just like you, take that first step and hopefully go somewhere, and hopefully someone else can take something positive from that message. So if any one of you did, as I hope you do, go share some love. Okay, he deserves it.